So we've been told time and time again that there's no need to worry when it comes to artificial intelligence. It won't be used against us or, any kind of big brother feel, right? I mean, this is the rhetoric that they've been pushing on us. Then how come it's going to be used by garbage collection trucks to confirm if you're throwing away your trash properly? Make one mistake and the GPS data in the bin, I repeat, GPS data in the bin will confirm where it happened, and a postcard will be sent to that home to tell the owner that this is not the right way of throwing away your trash. Like, that's crazy. I mean, we could be using AI to solve many other problems, but they would rather have it monitor the way people are throwing away their trash. Would you ever want this done to your trash? Just comment a quick yes or no. Many companies are now ringing the bell and warning everyone about how consumers are now changing and are starting to pull back on their purchases. Have you seen yourself doing this lately? Pulling back, not spending as much money? Or have you instead decided to put your money in better places compared to just discretionary items? Are any of you guys familiar with the term PIP or the performance improvement plans? Basically, it's disguised as a way to help struggling employees who don't necessarily meet the standards of a company. Well, a former VP of Microsoft is saying that these plans are rarely ever placed to help somebody out. Most times it's used to push someone out. How's that for an insider from Microsoft? Now, on that note, we are still seeing layoffs every single day from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell as he continues to say that the labor market remains strong, which will then lead to even more rate hikes. Are you guys prepared to face even more interest rate hikes at this point? Now, let's not waste any time. Let's get right into the updates. Also, if you own a home, make sure your home is protected. Get your free home warranty quote. There's a link in the description down below of this video. Now, the norm is changing and consumers are switching up things by they're pulling back on some purchases. Now, it could be due to inflation, maybe layoffs, or maybe they just realize that they're better off making investments in the stock market or somewhere else with the money that they have. Regardless, companies are worried about what this will do to the economy as demand continues to wane. Now, look at this. Walgreens just saw their stock sink as they warned shareholders of lower profits due to demand weakening from the C-19 vaccines.
We're watching Walgreens stock as it falls in pre-market trading. The pharmacy giant reporting third quarter results, beating on revenue but missing analyst expectations on earnings for the first time since July of 2020. Walgreens also slashing its full year earnings guidance. That's now looking for a range of $4 to $4.05 per share for the full year of 2023 versus $4.45 to $4.65. That was their previous outlook here. So a few things that, of course, for us to remember about this company when they do report, it's also not just the healthcare segment, but also that retail segment. And that's where you can see a little bit of choppiness, perhaps, in where the consumer is purchasing within some of the stores.
I think we saw this coming, but compared to last year, the company saw an 83% decline in the most recent quarter in terms of C-19 related revenue, with consumers now becoming more cautious and overall becoming more value driven. So here's what their CEO Rosalind Brewer had to say about this. Quote, "Our consumers feeling the strain of higher inflation and interest rates, lower SNAP benefits, EBT benefits, and other tax refunds, and an uncertain economic outlook. They're pulling back on discretional and seasonal spend and responding strongly to promotional activity." End quote. So yeah, they're looking at the best our money can buy. Nothing wrong with that, right? Given that prices continue to go up, it would be best to know exactly where your money is actually going. And it's not just them. General Mills stock shares also went down as new annual guidance are showing that price hikes are coming. Now, the reason behind these price hikes are what you would expect: inflation, and how it again has pushed consumers to think twice before making any purchases. Which brings me to the Federal Reserve and Jerome Powell. So here's what he says will be the plan for the Fed moving forward.
So we believe there's more restriction coming. And what's really driving it, to Andrew's point and Christine's as well, is very strong labor market. We've got a labor market that, where jobs are being created, there's strong wage gains, and that's driving spending, driving real incomes and driving spending, which is driving more demand and continuing to drive labor market. So
with two more meetings coming up, should we expect more rate hikes in the future? Possibly. Do you guys agree with Powell regarding our labor market? Well, let's do a check on that, shall we? So after like a 5-minute browse, I found this. Quote, UBS looks to cut around 35,000 jobs after emergency takeover of Credit Suisse. End quote. Now, some of you guys might say that Credit Suisse doesn't have operations here, but they do in New York. In fact, bankers, traders, and support staff of the bank operations in London, New York, and some parts of Asia will be heavily hit by these cuts. cuts. And hey, the labor market continues to remain strong even though companies like Robinhood, they're going to have to lay off at least 7% of their remaining workforce. Cuts are also being made in Niantic. You remember them, right? The company that became really famous with Pokemon Go, with kids just itching to walk outside because it was sort of a game that you played in the real world. Or how about cuts with Gap and Whole Foods? Layoffs are happening, folks, and it would be best to stay prepared because we don't know when this is actually going to hit our market or our sector. Now, Chris Williams, a former VP of Microsoft, has some advice for workers who continue to remain with their job, but instead of being let go, they're being put under a PIP, or a performance improvement plan. Have you guys heard of this? Like, what is a PIP, right? Well, according to Williams, a PIP is nominally a plan to help you recover. These plans usually include formal steps such as training and support to help you reach the required performance. Key to the plan is a set of metrics you need to meet in a given period of time. End quote. And so basically, you're not meeting what the company is asking of you, no matter what your reasoning is. You're going to be micromanaged until you can actually get back to a normal production level. Something that he says does not usually happen. So what do? Leave your job. That's what he says. And he adds that quote, "For those who do leave, it's a wrenching experience, but many find that an opportunity for a clean start elsewhere is a net benefit. They can start over in a different role, perhaps more suited for their skills, or in an environment more compatible with their temperament. Though painful, the process of PIP followed by escape and renewal works to many people's longer term advantage." End quote. I actually know someone this happened to, not once, but twice in different companies. And in both times, he decided to leave because he understood that this wasn't the best path for him. He wasn't doing a well enough job and he's bringing the team down. Guess what happened next? He actually found a job that he liked and one that liked him back. Sometimes you fall multiple times so that you could get back up better and stronger. However, this entire PIP thing, it may also be a way for these companies to get people out, in which case, just leave. The grass is greener wherever you're happy anyway. But again, charge it to better judgment because you want to be prepared financially before you do anything unexpected. And speaking of unexpected, this news about AI tracking trash bins, not so unexpected. Now, it's happening in a small city in Alberta, Canada, with garbage collection trucks using AI technology to scan green carts as they're dumped into the truck. So imagine accidentally including a plastic wrapper with your organics. The AI will be able to detect that. A photo is then taken of the item, and then using GPS data in the chip in the bin, they will now locate the specific household that it came from. From there, you're going to get a postcard with the image on it, and of course, what you can do and about what you can or cannot include in the cart. Now, I gotta admit that this is amazing to some extent, but it's also scary in other ways. This basically means that they're gonna have this technology that's running in the background constantly, which has home information, and who knows if these postcards will have fees in the future, perhaps fines. What else could they use with this data? It's got your address on it, and anything else you may have thrown away. Are you guys excited for AI to become much more embedded into our lives? How's that for Big Brother? Big Brother's riding on the garbage truck. Wow. Or will it continue to just monitor us in ways we don't expect? Make sure to share your thoughts in the comment section down below, guys. Times have drastically changed technology, huh? And to be honest, there's a lot of opportunities that are opening up, not just with tech, but also with our economy as well. You see, this kind of change doesn't happen every day. And if you're one of the many people in the community that are pushing toward financial freedom, I want to help you along your way. We can talk about cash flow for starters. I can help you learn about different opportunities to generate multiple streams of income through side hustles and small businesses. We can also cover topics in future videos related to the stock market, real estate, investments in gold and silver. And of course, it's not necessarily going to be a walk in the park, but it's definitely going to be a trip worth taking. Now, before I go, guys, please don't forget to drop a huge thumbs up for the video. Also share this video with your friends and loved ones. Subscribe for your daily dose of the truth. I appreciate the support, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.